What if a simple act of kindness could change someone's life forever? Imagine being the one who helps someone when no one else will. This story will show you how one small gesture made all the difference. Before we continue, let us know where you're watching from. A young boy, no older than 15, wheels himself toward the restaurant entrance. His clothes are worn, and his wheelchair creaks under the weight of his hopes. Hunger gnaws at him, but there's another feeling too, the fear of being rejected. His stomach growls loudly, but he tries to push the feeling aside. He doesn't want pity. He just wants a simple meal. As he reaches for the door, the security guard steps forward, blocking his path. His voice is cold, dismissive. "You can't come in here," the guard says, not even looking the boy in the eye. "No reservations, no entry." The boy's heart sinks. He opens his mouth to explain, but his voice is shaky. I just want something to eat." The guard's face hardens, his tone rude. "Not without a reservation, you don't. And even if you had one, we don't serve people like you." John feels his stomach twist. The words sting, but it's not new to him. He's been turned away before, by people who don't care, who see only his wheelchair, his clothes, his appearance. His hand trembles slightly as he turns around, prepared to leave in silence. But just as he begins to roll away, a voice interrupts. "Is there a problem here?" The boy looks up, startled. Standing before him is a man, tall, with a presence that's almost magnetic. His hood is pulled over his head, but there's something undeniably kind in his eyes as they meet John's. The security guard stammers. "This kid doesn't have a reservation," and Keanu interrupts him, his voice calm yet firm. "You're not letting him in because of a reservation?" The guard hesitates, looking at Keanu, but he doesn't back down. "That's the policy, sir." Keanu looks at John, his expression softening. "What's your name, kid?" he asks gently. John looks down, unsure. John." "Well, John," Keanu says, crouching slightly to meet his eyes. "It looks like you're with me now. You deserve to eat." John blinks, confused. "But I don't have money." Keanu smiles warmly. "I've got you covered. Let's go in." The security guard, completely thrown off, stands frozen as Keanu wheels John past him and into the restaurant. John feels eyes on him. People whisper, but Keanu doesn't seem to notice. He leads John to a quiet table by the window, motioning for him to sit. John feels the weight of the moment. He's used to feeling small, invisible, like he doesn't belong. But Keanu's presence is different, calm, grounding. As the waiter approaches, Keanu speaks, his voice warm. "What would you like to eat, John?" John's stomach growls loudly, but he's too embarrassed to speak. He's never been treated like this before. "I don't know," he mumbles, not looking up. Keanu leans in slightly, his tone soft and understanding. "You can have whatever you want. Don't hold back. What's something you've always wanted to eat?" John looks at the menu but can't seem to focus. I've never really had a choice," he admits. "I just take what I can get." Keanu looks at him with deep empathy. "What if you could have anything? What would you want right now?" John swallows hard. "Maybe chicken and fries?" Keanu smiles. "Good choice. Chicken and fries it is." As the waiter leaves to place the order, Keanu watches John closely. He leans in, his voice low. "John, I have to ask. How did this happen? How did you end up in a wheelchair?" John stiffens, unsure if he should answer. But there's something in Keanu's eyes that makes him want to tell. John looks down, his hands trembling slightly on the table. "I was in a car accident with my mom and dad. We were hit by a drunk driver. My parents didn't make it." Keanu's heart aches at the rawness in John's voice. He reaches across the table, placing a hand gently over John's. "I'm so sorry. That must have been incredibly hard." John nods, his throat tight. "I don't know what to do anymore. I don't have anyone left." Keanu's voice is firm, but gentle. "You have me. You're not alone. You matter, John. You always will." John's eyes well up, but he quickly wipes the tears away, embarrassed. Keanu's words cut deeper than he expected. For the first time in years, he feels seen. As they wait for their food, Keanu continues the conversation, his voice soft and steady. "John, tell me about your parents. What were they like?" John hesitates, but then a small smile appears on his face. "My mom, she loved to sing. She'd always hum while cooking. And my dad, he was so strong. He'd carry me on his shoulders and say I was his little warrior." Keanu listens intently, nodding. They sound like incredible people. And you're their legacy, their warrior. John's smile falters. "But I'm not a warrior anymore. I can't even stand up." Keanu's voice becomes firmer but still kind. "Being a warrior isn't about standing. It's about never giving up. And you haven't given up, John. You're here. That's strength." John looks down, his heart heavy. I wish I could make them proud." Keanu leans closer. "You already are. Trust me. They'd be so proud of you." The security guard watches through the window, still processing what just happened. He sees Keanu talking to John, laughing with him. And he feels a pang of guilt. He had been so quick to judge, so quick to uphold the rules without ever considering the person in front of him. He's used to looking at people like John with disdain, seeing them as inconveniences, as obstacles. But seeing Keanu's kindness, he feels ashamed of his own behavior. The guard looks down, a heavy weight on his chest. The realization hits him hard. The boy just wanted a meal, a chance to feel normal, and instead he was humiliated. As Keanu and John finish their meal, the guard approaches their table. His face is red with shame, his shoulders hunched. Keanu looks up at him, his expression calm. "Is there something you need?" he asks, his voice even. The guard takes a deep breath, trying to steady himself. I owe you both an apology. To you, John, especially." John looks up, surprised, his brow furrowing. What are you talking about?" The guard's voice cracks slightly as he speaks. "I shouldn't have treated you like that. I should have let you in. I've been doing this job for so long and I've gotten used to looking at people like they're less than me, like you didn't deserve a meal. But I was wrong. You deserve respect. You matter." John stares at him, unsure of what to say. But Keanu speaks first, his voice warm and forgiving. "We all make mistakes. What matters is how we change, and you're changing right now." The guard nods, his eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you. I'll do better from now on." John, still taken aback, manages a small smile. "Thanks for saying that." The guard straightens up, visibly moved. He turns to leave but hesitates, then adds, "I hope you'll come back, John. And next time, the meal's on me." Keanu gives the guard an approving nod. That's a good start. John feels an unfamiliar warmth in his chest. For the first time in a long time, he feels acknowledged, not just by Keanu, but by someone who initially dismissed him. It's a step forward. Keanu walks beside John, pushing his wheelchair gently over the cobblestone path. The evening air is cool, and the stars are beginning to appear. "Why did you do all this for me?" John asks, his voice quiet but filled with curiosity. Keanu pauses, looking up at the sky for a moment before answering. "Because everyone deserves kindness, John, no matter who they are or where they come from. I've been blessed in my life, but I've also seen how cruel the world can be. If I can make it a little better for someone, even for a moment, then it's worth it." John absorbs Keanu's words, feeling the weight of their sincerity. "I wish more people thought like you," he says. Keanu smiles. "Kindness is contagious. You can start by being kind to yourself. You've been through so much, but you're still here. That's something to be proud of." John nods, the words settling deep in his heart. Keanu reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small envelope. He hands it to John, who looks at it hesitantly. "What's this?" John asks. "Just a little something to help you get back on your feet," Keanu replies, his voice gentle. Open it when you're ready. John looks at the envelope, then back at Keanu. I don't know how to thank you. You don't have to, Keanu says with a smile. Just promise me one thing, never give up on yourself. John nods, his throat tight with emotion. I promise. Keanu places a hand on John's shoulder. Take care, John. You're stronger than you think. With that, Keanu walks away, his hood pulled back up, blending into the evening crowd. John watches him go, clutching the envelope tightly. He finds a note and a generous amount of money. The note reads, John, this is to help you get started on a new chapter. Use it to chase your dreams, to build the life you deserve. You're capable of amazing things. Never forget that. Your friend, Keanu. Tears stream down John's face as he reads the note. For the first time in years, he feels hope. A real, tangible hope that things can get better. He makes a silent vow to himself to honor the kindness he's been shown and to pay it forward someday. John begins to make small but significant changes in his life. He finds a shelter that helps him with temporary housing. He uses the money Keanu gave him to enroll in an online course, something he'd always dreamed of but never thought possible. The memory of Keanu's kindness stays with him, fueling his determination. He starts volunteering at a local community center, helping others who are struggling. He becomes a source of inspiration for many, his story spreading through the neighborhood. Meanwhile, the security guard at the restaurant also changes. He begins treating everyone who walks through the door with respect and kindness, remembering the lesson he learned that day. Keanu's simple act of kindness creates ripples that touch countless lives, proving that even small gestures can lead to profound change. John is walking through the park, his wheelchair replaced by a sturdy cane. He's made incredible progress, both physically and emotionally. As he sits on a bench enjoying the sunshine, he spots a familiar figure in the distance. It's Keanu, sitting quietly on another bench, feeding the birds. John's heart races. He hesitates, unsure if he should approach, but then he remembers Keanu's words. Never give up on yourself. He stands and walks over, his steps slow but steady. When Keanu looks up and sees him, his face breaks into a warm smile. John, Keanu says, standing to greet him. Look at you. John grins, his eyes shining with gratitude. I couldn't have done it without you. Keanu shakes his head. You did this, John. I just gave you a little push. The two sit together, talking and laughing as the sun sets. It's a moment of connection, of understanding. A reminder that even in a world that can be harsh and unforgiving, kindness has the power to heal, to uplift, and to transform. And for John, it's the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with hope, strength, and the promise of a brighter future. A little kindness can change a life. Treat everyone with respect, because you never know their struggles. A small act of compassion can bring hope, change a bad day, or even inspire someone to do the same. In a world that can be tough, kindness is a choice that makes a difference. If this story inspired you, share it with others. Let's spread kindness and remind the world that a little compassion goes a long way. Leave a comment with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories.